3, 2, 1.
Time to get paid, blow. Time to get paid. Time to get paid, blow up like. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Promise it's all good. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. And if you don't know, I'm blowing up like you thought I would. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. It's all good. Get paid, get paid, get paid. Blow up like. I'm blowing up like you thought I would.
Let's get after it. We ain't playing no games today. People want that high value, high money. Well, make sure you a high value worker. We're going to chat about five things, so that you can be a high value worker, meaning you bring up the individual that you are, make yourself a high valuable employee, a high valuable person. You know, you want to be able to step into the world that we call the post office, which I told you guys many times before. You got to leave everything you knew by the wayside and get ready to embrace the madness. But I got a couple pointers for you. Couple pointers. I had to jot them down because I get a lot of emails and people seem flustered. And my purpose of this channel was to try to make sure that everybody has a fair shot. And you have a fair shot if you listen to the words. You don't even got to watch me. Just listen to the words. All right. Let's see what the definition of a high value employee is. Person that believes in yourself. You're not overconfident or stubborn, but you have high self-esteem. You have faith in your ability to work, adapt, and achieve. But see, there's a difference between arrogance and high self-esteem. Arrogant people think that they're better than the rest of the world. They think they know and deserve more without the base value of hard work. You think you know when you step into this place. You think you deserve the high paychecks, but you don't want to work for it. A person with high self-esteem doesn't brag about your success or your superiority. In fact, the individual believes that they're no better than anyone else. People sit there and, oh, Jay, you're this, Jay, you're that, Jay. No, I'm a worker, just like you. Just like you. I just work in a different craft. That individual believes that they only achieve more because they are not afraid to take risks. They believe they're not perfect. They don't feel entitled or superior. But they have enough confidence to face intimidating obstacles, intimidating situations, intimidating work situations that you will encounter. Whether you're a CCA, whether you're a mail handler, whether you're a truck driver, every situation is different. But you will face them. You will. But the high value individual has enough self-esteem to take risks and try your best in order to conquer, in order to face head on, in order to defeat whatever it is you're about to encounter. This coincides with number 2. Being consistent and disciplined. Discipline. These will all tie together. You have to be consistent and disciplined. You have to constantly come to work. You have to constantly say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And have to be disciplined enough to make sure that you're there on time. You're there dressed properly. That you don't take your shortcuts. A lot of people like to take the shortcuts. And then when things happen, they like to point the finger and blame everybody else for their shortcomings. Don't blame anybody else for your shortcomings. You have to be consistent and disciplined in order to achieve more. To make people understand that you are, what's the word? Reliable. You have to be. If you want people to say, Jenny is the one. We know Jenny's going to be here. They never second guess that you're going to call out. They never second guess that you're going to say no. Things happen. You do have to take a break once in a while, but we're getting there. We're getting there. You have to be trustworthy and reliable. Trustworthy means that they don't second guess you. If you're a high value individual, this goes through all parts of your life. You have to be trustworthy and reliable. I got people that I work with that I know for a fact. There's going to be somebody that calls out at least twice a week, that complains, that says they're not going to do nothing, that they're going to be late. We all have that scenario, that situation. You have that friend that says, yeah, I'm going to be there. And you like, man, you know this person isn't going to be on time because there's always an excuse. We put excuses in the trash can. Everybody complains about how bad the post office is. Well, it's not the post office that's bad. It's the workers that make it bad. Post office is just a building. It's the people that are in the building. I'm trying to help the post office overall, help you overall, get into a career overall that you can succeed in overall. But you have to make yourself a high value individual. You have to step in there with that mindset. You have to have emotional resilience in the face of adversity. You have to persevere through difficult situations. Difficult. This stuff that I jot down, I write this stuff down because I gotta formulate my thoughts in order to translate it to you so that you can comprehend that you're not the only one. When things get tough, you don't run. You don't run and give up. I don't like to give messages, although it happens. But I get a lot of messages saying, I could not do it. I had to give up. I had to quit. The way I look at it, and the way I put in my other videos, put your game face on, work harder, and you keep trying. You keep trying till you get back to where you need to be. Instead of saying, man, CCA ain't for me. It ain't for everybody. But some people quit after 2 days. Some people quit after 3 days. How do you know that you can't succeed if you don't even try it? You have to be resilient. I use these words because I watch wrestling. Shawn Michaels was known as the resilient one. Somebody going to co-sign on that. But you have to be resilient in your workplace because it's critical. Because if you're not resilient, if everybody that steps in there isn't resilient, everybody's just going to quit. A high value worker has the drive or the oomph to recover when you fail. You learn from your mistakes. You try to stay positive, even when you're struggling, because you're committed to the end goal. You don't know what I'm talking about with end goals? I got a video about end goals. Scroll through it. Check that one out. No matter how difficult your goal may seem to be. One of the most important things that you have to do when people say that this is too much, you have to achieve balance. Everybody, I wrote this in my comments probably about 20, 30 times in the last 5 days. Achieving work-life balance. Work-life balance. And then I got to write it down because when I read all the different comments, they all stem to the same thing. But being driven and passionate is great. But even your passion has a limit. There's only 24 hours to a day. And you can only work for so long before your motivation starts to dwindle. This is why you need that balance. You have to kind of understand your purpose. You have to work hard to achieve it. But you have to be willing to sit down. You have to formulate your own plan. Formulate your own plan to bring that balance back into your life. Now, when I mean balance, a lot of people had things going on in their life before they stepped in the post office and think that, oh yeah, now I got a job, I can still keep this balance. No, somebody threw you a curveball when they said, hey, apply to the post office. Money ain't everything. End goals are good. But if you need to wake up earlier or go to sleep later, that takes patience, that takes time. In order to restore some type of balance in your life, that's what you need to do. I used to be able to go to the gym at a certain time of day. I couldn't do it anymore. I changed my shift, changed my schedule. I have a 6-year-old. I had to figure out how to do it. I slowly started buying stuff and putting it in my own house. Now I just wake up early, work out at home. Small situation for everybody's life's big problems. But if you need to wake up earlier or go to sleep later, you have to remember, the struggle is real, but you're not alone in this struggle. I said that in one of my other videos. You're not alone. Others before you have done it, and others after you will do it. So if you tap out, somebody's going to do it. The people that have been there for 20, 30 years, they're doing it. They may not be happy, but they figured out their work-life balance. They're griping about what goes on there and the management and so on and so forth. If you notice that the old heads, I like to call them, they're not complaining about, oh, I don't get no time off. No, you guys are, because you're new. They're complaining about what goes on in management and how messed up the place is. That's what you hear. But you don't hear them complaining they don't have any time. Think about that. They don't have no time to do anything. You want to get some real insight? Go talk to an old head and see. The ones that are careers, see. Yeah, they went through what you went through. Their gripes are not your gripes. What does that say about you? Which brings us back to the fact that you need to figure out how to become a high value worker without sacrificing your mental. This is an added piece to it. I didn't really want to talk about it, but I said something just as important but often overlooked is our mental health fitness. In fact, in our screwed up work environment, that's a wild and unpredictable, that's what the post office is, mental health may be way more important. Understand, there should be no stigma attached to mental health. It's real and it matters. Reaching out for help, whether it be counseling, therapy, or anything else, is always a strong decision, and it can save your life. After everything I spoke about, when it came down to you as a person being a high value employee / worker, your mental health, which was last but not least, should be most important. People have nervous breakdowns. It's real. People have to figure out the work-life balance in order to achieve some of that mental health. Sometimes you need to utilize the hotlines that we have. I have a video about that as well. But if you want to achieve more, again, it's not always about this money. It's about achieving this work-life balance. Understand, it only lasts a couple years when you're not career. And even after you become career, yeah, there are scenarios where you may have to work. Why do you need to work more? Why do you need to work overtime? Why does anybody need to work overtime? Why does a police officer need to work overtime? Why do nurses need to work overtime? Why? A, they're short staffed. B, because they need them. They don't want you to work overtime because they want to just give you money. They want you there because they need you there. You're not alone. Don't feel like you are. I'm hoping that these words can help you make it through your day. Not J help you, but the words help you. All right? This is very important, and I felt like I needed to get this message to you because, man, I don't like hearing about people that I've put energy into saying I couldn't do it after a day or 2 days or 2 weeks or a month. I'm like, man, do you know what you're missing? Achieving this work-life balance at the end of the day, building yourself up to become a valuable person, a valuable employee is most important because it trickles off into the rest of your life. This is JH, hoping that I was able to translate my pigeon scrap to you guys the best way I could. All right? We out.